Hi there, in this video we will be discussing unit analysis. And as an introduction, we're going to talk about units of measurement. So a unit of measurement is a unit that is used to represent a physical quantity. So it's something that you've used in the past to measure things. For instance, when we're talking about time, we measure time in terms of seconds, hours, minutes, even weeks, days, years. These are the things that we're calling units of measurement. Another way of thinking about it is that it's the type of measurement, right, that we're doing. And I have here examples. So for distance or length, we talk in feet, yards, miles, centimeters, meters, and these belong to different systems. They're different systems that are accepted for measurement. But here I've just jumbled everything together just to give you examples of the different types of measurements that we have. So for volume or capacity, we have liters, gallons, pints. For weight or mass, we have pounds, grams, kilograms. For temperature, Kelvin, Fahrenheit, Celsius. There's just more that I haven't even represented here. And just as an example, as you can see here, some of the units are also can be shortened. And there are acceptable ways of writing them. For instance, pounds, you can see here, we represent it this way. So this also means pounds. So you need to be on the lookout for these short forms as well. Okay, so let's move on to learn more about unit analysis. Okay, now on to unit analysis. Here I have shown you three different three sets of units of measurements that are equal to each other. For example, when we say 1 yard is actually equal to 3 feet, okay? And when we say 60 seconds, we all know that 60 seconds equals 1 minute. And then when we say miles, 1 mile is the same thing as 5,280 feet. Okay, so I want to ask a question. This is an algebra 1 kind of explanation, and so we are used to doing algebra. And when we have equations in algebra, we can manipulate it. We can either add to both sides, subtract, divide, or multiply on both sides. So what if I did something here? What if I divided both sides by 1 yard? What would happen here? All right, my left. 1 yard over 1 yard. We know that any number divided by itself or anything here, right? This would just be 1, or you can think of it as like it would cancel out. So this is 1 is equal to 3 feet, right? And I shortened the feet over 1 yard. Okay, so let's try here. What if I divided by 1 minute? So divide both sides by 1 minute, and then I get 60 seconds over 1 minute is equal to 1. Okay, what about here? Divide both sides by 5,280 feet. Okay, and then again I get 1 is equal to 1 mile over 5,280 feet. Is there anything you notice, right? All the fractions that I created by dividing on both sides equal 1, right? This one over here, 3 feet over 1 yard is equal to 1. 60 seconds over 1 minute is equal to 1. And then 1 mile over 5,280 feet is equal to 1. These fractions that I've created are called conversion factors. That's one of our vocabulary terms. And we're going to use these conversion factors to convert. Convert just means change, right? To change from one unit of measurement to another unit of measurement. The reason why we're using this is because guess what? 1 is a special number, right? Do you remember? It's the multiplicative identity, meaning if you multiply any number by 1, you never change that number, right? An example, 5 times 1 is equal to 1. Okay, so we are going to use 1 to change, not to change, but to convert, same thing, to convert measurements, okay? And the reason why I hesitated with the word change was because even though I'm converting or I'm changing my measurement, it's actually the same measurement. It's actually equal in value, but it's just a different form of representing the measurement. Okay, and so I'm going to use 1, the fact that 1 doesn't really change the value of a number, to change my measurements from one unit to another unit. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so let me give a quick example. So let's say I wanted to change, let's say 120 seconds to minutes, right? We could probably just figure this out because we know that 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. But what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a conversion factor here. And remember, a conversion factor is a fraction that's equal to 1 that helps us to convert from one unit to the other unit. So here, I have this conversion factor here, 60 seconds over 1 minute. But I chose to divide by 1 minute here. I could have divided by 60 seconds. So my initial equation was 60 seconds equals 1 minute. What if I had divided by 60 seconds? All right, I still would have gotten a rate conversion factor over here, which is equal to 1. 1 is equal to 1 minute over 60 seconds. Okay, so this is another conversion factor, right? Different from this one, but they have the same value. So I'm going to take this one and use it. So I'm going to multiply 120 seconds, right, by that conversion factor, 1 minute over 60 seconds. Okay, and then this is going to help me to convert 120 seconds to minutes. Okay, so let's see. Seconds here cancel seconds here, right? Because this one is in the numerator, this one's in the denominator. So it's like seconds over seconds. That's going to be 1. All right, and then 60 goes into 122 times. So it's actually 2 times 1 here, which is 2 minutes. All right, so I have converted 120 seconds to minutes using conversion factors. It'll get clearer as we go on, but notice here how I didn't choose this conversion factor, 60 seconds over 1 minute, but instead I chose 1 minute over 60 seconds. Even though they have the same value, they help me to achieve 2 different things. All right, let's move on. Okay, so here I'm supposed to convert 9.6 feet to yards. If you recall, we mentioned that 3 feet equal 1 yard will be equal to 1 yard. Okay. All right. So because I want to convert 9.6 feet into yards, like I want it in yards, I want yards as my final answer. What that means is I need to get rid of feet. So I'm going to choose a conversion factor that has feet in the denominator so I can end up canceling them, right? Just like I did in the previous example, if I cancel feet up top with feet in the bottom, then that goes away, and then I have yards here. So this is the kind of conversion factor I need. I need yards on top, feet on the bottom, so I can cancel out the feet and be left with the yards. So when I go here to my equation, I need to divide by feet because I need feet on the bottom. All right, so we have, I'm going to do that right here, 3 feet equals 1 yard. So I'm going to divide by feet, by 3 feet, divide by 3 feet. All right, this is equal to 1. That's going to be 1. And this is my conversion factor, 1 yard over 3 feet. So I'm going to use this one in my in the conversion over here. So 1 yard and then 3 feet at the bottom. Okay, and then let's see what we get. So we're going to start by canceling out. Feet cancels feet. 3 actually goes into 9.6, right? If I were to do that, 9.6 divided by 3, 3 into 9 is 3 times 9. All right, 0.6. 3 into 0.6, that's 0.2, right? And so that's going to be 0.6, and then we're done. All right, so 3.2. So if I multiply that out, I'm going to get, and I can use a different color here, 9. 3 is going to go into 9.6 3.2 times. So 3.2 times 1 over here is going to be 3.2 yards. And that's going to be my answer. All right. So the key here, just to go over, we're changing from one unit to another by multiplying by a conversion factor, which is equal to 1. So in terms of value, we're not changing the measurement at all. All we're doing is we're expressing it in a different unit. Okay, and the way that we do that is we pick our final unit that has to go on top in our fraction, and the unit that we don't want anymore, the one that we want to get rid of, in this case feet, that has to go in the denominator. That's the conversion factor that we pick. And once we multiply that out, we get our answer and we're done. Okay, let's go on to the next question.